rolling dollies. And let's start first before anything happens. It has to be cleaned. This is this week's piece. It is a little cabinet that I got on from a person that I buy furniture from. He goes to auctions and he hears about a lot of things that I may not hear of. And so sometimes I buy from him and he's reputable. It has some damage to it. You can see that one of the little appliques is chipped. The doors were a bit uneven, but I tightened this side and now it looks like, you know, the left-hand door could stand a bit of tightening as well. So before I'm done, I'll have those as even as possible. I did try to take these handles off. I got one off, but the other one was too stubborn, and I would have probably marked it up and damaged it trying to remove it. So I'm going to leave it as is. First thing I'm going to do after the repairs are done is to sand down this top and see what it looks like. Based on what I get, will determine how I'm going to decorate it. So the top, it's not an apron, but it's like a, you know, top back, for want of a better word. That's in good condition. It needs to be tightened up a little bit. These pieces of wood I have here because I need to do a repair on the inside. So this part of the door is broken off, and I'm going to repair these nicks with some wood putty, but I've sawed out some pieces of wood so that I can replace this chipped piece. So I'm going to do that today. Yeah. So yeah, let's get started and let's see what happens. It's got some nice details. It has beautiful legs in the front, which no matter what I do, I believe I'm going to leave these stained. I am going to try to get that dark finish off with some chemical stripper. It looks like there's a little nick here too, right in this bottom of the door. So yeah, we'll do a few mending pieces and we'll take it from there. Can't wait, so excited. So the first thing I'm going to do with all of these repairs is see if there are any areas that are extremely loose. For instance, let's see this. Okay, this side piece, support piece. I can see that there's a space on it, and I can see that there's a chunk missing, and I just want to see if it flexes it when I put pressure on it, because if it does, then, you know, perhaps it does need to be taken apart and glued. So I'm just gonna eyeball that, and I don't see any movement there. I'm not forcing it too hard because I don't want to break any more veneer, but with just a little bit of pressure, I don't see any movement there. A piece down here that needs to be repaired. It's part of the veneer. There's all kinds of digs in here. I don't know what happened here, but I think what I can do here is, excuse me, fill it with some wood putty, and that's probably as good as it gets. There's more digs on the side, and so yeah, a lot of that is going to be repaired with wood putty. Some broken veneer, it actually needs to be glued down and filled with wood putty. Some on this side too. We have some splaying here of the veneer, and this side panel is loose, so we're going to glue that as well. So right in here, you can see that moving. I'm going to tighten that up a bit. So yeah, we have a lot of repairs before we do anything at all. The bottom of the legs, of course, this is cracked. I'll have to put a clamp on that and see if I get movement. I doubt it. I just think it's age. And so I'll probably fill this with wood putty as well. And I don't think I'll be able to replace these. They're kind of old. And this side is missing. So I'm going to remove these, and we'll just at least have it bare on the bottom. There's another crack that I can repair. Yeah, and I'll put some felt pads on that as well. If you look here, we're going to fill that in with some wood putty. I'm going to use some molding material to fix this. Yeah, it looks like just the left side and then the bottom of the right side as far as the appliques. Yep, so let's get started. Okay, so the edge of this door is fractured here. It's an angle, but the whole thing is somewhat loose. So I'm actually going to try to repair the wood, but instead of trying to cut that little sliver, I'm going to trim this down a little bit so that it's at an angle, but it's not such an acute angle. And then I'm going to glue a piece of wood in there. I'll cut the shape out and glue it in. We'll see if we can't fix it and keep most of this wood, you know, as original as possible. Sometimes there's just no better way to do it than with a hand. And this is just wood glue. So that's going to be it for the night. This is going to stay clamped. It's time to go home. We are going to leave that and fix that up tomorrow. Can't really get in there to get the rest of the glue, but it was good. What we did was we chiseled and sawed and chiseled some more, and we got that to fit to maintain that original side piece here on the door. I could have taken it all off and put a new one on, a new piece of trim, but I really wanted to save the old one because it is kind of an old piece of furniture. So yeah, well, I'll come back in the morning and see what we have then, because we're going to have to do some more chiseling. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that it's going to work. All right. A bit of denatured alcohol. And a steel wool pad, very fine steel wool pad. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the finish off of these front legs. Some of it's going to drip down on the bottom, and I'll wipe those too. But ultimately, the rest is going to be painted. But if I take a little finish off, it's not really going to matter. This is a messy job, so I'm working in my shop, and it won't hurt my metal floor. But if you're concerned about that, a good thing to do is to put down something absorbent or plastic or something heavy, because I'm going to wipe it off with the paper towel as I'm working. I'm just going to put this over on my chair so I don't knock it down accidentally. So this is with the legs taken down. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I didn't expect to get every speck of that off. I will go over it with a little bit of sandpaper, just to be sure I have it down as far as comfortable before I put the new gel stain on. But yeah, it's really pretty. Beautiful. I love it. A bit too close. My roller fell off. Okay, let's take a little break. So I'm just using a square and just to give me a better idea than to use my eyes. Good morning. Today we're finishing up the repairs on this piece, and everything looks really good. We've done a lot of things with it. We repaired veneer, we repaired the appliques, the drawer was repaired. I have some sanding here to do on that, and then for this I'm going to tint it and then do the gel stain on the inside to match the legs afterwards, and all the details on the inside, and I think that will look nice. Have to sand down the top and see what I have. The sides have been repaired. They were kind of bulging out, the side panels, so we glued and clamped them, and they came out nice. Filled in some of the veneer on the sides. Just lots of little nicks and scratches and digs, and yeah, it's looking pretty good, and we should be able to finish the top today. So let's start doing that. Let's get some light in here. So, as an update, we've done a lot of work on this cabinet, and last thing I did was to scrape down the top and did a little denatured alcohol to remove the shellac finish, which I love shellac, and it's so easy to remove too. So it's been sanded and spot finished, and every time I you know, look at it in more detail, I'm finding more pieces that actually need to be fixed. And usually at the end of the video is the completion of the project. But this project is going to be a little different. It's a beautiful piece, as you can see. Completely lovely, even though it was in poor condition, really. The legs are beautiful now. I filled in a lot of holes and took down the old finish as much as I could. The top is in pretty fair condition. I did have to order a little bit of the colored wax so that I could fix the top. It's not paste wax, it's a different kind of wax that you melt into the scratches, and it kind of helps hide the scratches and smooth them out. And I just don't have any, so I had to order that. And for that reason, I'm not finishing the video. And rather than not put out a video, I thought that I would just, sorry for the rocking here, thought that I would put out a video of all the repairs, and that will be part 1. Part 2 will be next week when I do all the final design and finish. So yeah, it's beautiful. I do have some plans for the inside of the cabinet, but it's going to be a surprise. This detail came out pretty well. This is where I cut and fit in another piece of wood, and you know, we'll stain that up and get it looking good. There's really nothing wrong with the inside, except that it's really, really plain. So I'm going to take my sander and I'm going to try to get in here and remove some of the stains that I can see. And then I have a special plan for it. But yeah, we're going to leave as much as possible in a natural state. And that parts, those parts that are, you know, a little tired, we'll have something special for that too that I hope you will enjoy. So I hope you have a good week, and thank you for watching the video.